Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. We are continuing our theme from last week. Last week we had such a beautiful and deep celestial theme about sharing and recognizing that sharing our stories, sharing how we feel, sharing our experiences went hand in hand with the importance of having people who were willing to listen, to serve as a container for stories, to really hear from the heart of who they are, to create space for pattern interrupts, for the beginning process of changing patterns so that we can begin to live a different human story, a different collective and personal reality. This week, the theme shifts a little bit, but it goes hand in hand still with this place of coming from the heart of who we are. Remember that we are in the cycle of the template, the creative part of the year, when we are putting language to what it is we seek to create. So most of the gates in this cycle in human design come off the throat center, giving us the power to articulate, to use our voice to initiate action of some kind in the world, not just individually, but collectively, and even in our personal lives as well. The sun this week transits in the gate 45, a gate that in traditional human design is called the gate of the king or the queen. In quantum human design, we call this the gate of distribution. It is an energy that is all about sharing resources, and resources are of course defined as not just material resources, but information, inspiration, anything that we have that is a sharing of the heart of who we are, that has the potential to magnify the abundance and the well-being of others. The earth is in the gate 26, the gate of integrity, and I actually want to start this week really focusing more on the earth first rather than the sun. And the reason why I want to focus on the earth is because the earth energy grounds us. It's the energy that has to be operating in the highest level in order for us to be able to fulfill the intention of the sun. We have to be grounded in whatever theme gets amplified by the earth transiting through it. So when the earth is transiting through this gate 26, which in traditional human design is a gate that doesn't really have a great name. It's called the gate of the trickster, right? Or the gate of the liar, which is really a super low expression of this energy. This energy is the energy of integrity. And it's an energy of integrity that is measured in 5 core areas. And anytime we have a violation of any of these 5 core areas of integrity, it causes us to have damage, if you will, to our self-esteem, potential at least for damage to our self-esteem, our sense of self-worth. And last week, you may remember I said to you, we have to each individually work on the karma of our self-worth, because when we can't stand strong in our own value, the things we end up doing, the actions we end up taking, the things we even think we're sharing, we're not really sharing because we have enough and then some. We're sharing as a way of proving our value or projecting onto other people that they have to do something to demonstrate our value. When you can sit and be fully present with the awareness of your own unique, vital, precious, irreplaceable role in the cosmic plan, and you can claim that role and defend that role, and then ultimately use that role to serve others, not from a place of martyrdom, not from a place of sacrifice, but from a place of abundant sharing of the value of who you are in order to lift other people up, then the work you do from that place becomes sustainable. It endures. And it endures because it doesn't have other secondary agendas that make the foundation of whatever it is you're doing unstable and vulnerable to collapsing, because it becomes vulnerable to being reactive versus conscious and deliberate. So when we talk about those 5 core areas of integrity, we're looking at, first of all, physical integrity. Anytime we're out of integrity on the physical level, whether something happens to our bodies, we become ill, or we get an injury, or somebody assaults us, that's a violation of physical integrity, and that has the potential to hurt our self-worth, our self-esteem, our own inner sense of value. Anytime we have breaches in integrity in our relationships, which often happen because we have low self-esteem. What happens a lot of times in our relationships and our relationship agreements is that we project onto our partners or our friends or the people we're working with that because our own value is limping along with a giant band-aid on it, that other people should serve our own value. They should be giving us the recognition, the love, the appreciation, the work, whatever it might be, to fill our cup for us, when in fact we need to be filling our cup for ourselves, because then we enter into healthy relationship dynamics that don't have projections and expectations rooted in them, and eliminate to a certain degree some of the potential for that disappointment or heartbreak that can happen when you expect your partner to fill your own sense of self-worth. Identity integrity is the next place where oftentimes we experience a breach in our integrity. We have identity integrity issues when we, for whatever reason, feel like we have to compromise who we are in the world to demonstrate our value. So if you think you can't make money being who you are in your business, or you have to compromise what you do because nobody would ever pay you for who you really are and what you really want to be doing, or if you are in any way muffling yourself, your voice, your truth, and not speaking true from the heart of who you are, that's a breach in integrity. And that breach in integrity depletes potentially your self-worth, and it actually even makes you more vulnerable to burning out, because if you're trying to be someone you're not, if you're trying to build this false identity, it's enormously depleting. It actually impacts the thymus and your immune system, because you can't sustain that for a long period of time. Anytime we have a breach in moral integrity, which I find is usually rooted because we don't think we are enough, therefore because we aren't conferring upon ourselves enoughness, we feel like we have to go to sneaky means. We have to be immoral and unethical in the way in which we create in the world, because we don't think we can naturally get what we need and want because of our own value. So anytime we have a breach in moral integrity, it's oftentimes because we question our self-worth and we don't think we can be valuable being who we are in the world. And lastly, energetic integrity is the fifth quality of integrity that we see in the human design chart, meaning oftentimes we overcommit our energy. We try to give when we don't have anything to give. We feel guilty when we can't will our way into giving more. And we put ourselves into cycles of depletion where, again, usually what happens is then we start projecting on other people that they should be filling our own energy needs. They should be doing stuff for us because we're tired, or we hope they will. Maybe we don't even articulate it, but we hope they will. Anytime you're out of integrity, any kind of integrity, whether it's physical, whether it's relationship, whether it's identity integrity, whether it's moral integrity or energetic integrity, it makes everything you do reactive. You're reacting to a place where your own not enoughness, the low point in your own self-worth and value, is trying to create. And really, the truth is, what we create from that place is kind of like, a drowning man trying to suck air through a straw. You can't create from that place because you're too desperate. You're trying to get a breath. You're trying to breathe. You're trying to get access to energy. You're trying to get access to that pause button that will give you the opportunity to really take care of yourself so that your cup is full and you can come back and give more. We have terrible societal ideas about rest and restoration. We have really not so great societal ideas about being relentlessly and unapologetically authentic. We like it when people go along and get along. Collectively, we've built a whole sort of story around that. Even though in America, at least, we have this sort of idea of the rugged individual, it's still not actually a really real thing. You're only a good rugged individual if you're doing something that everybody approves of, right? If you're going to move into the energy of being able to distribute resources in a just and equitable and sustainable way, you can't do that if you're out of integrity. You might, in the short run, be able to get away with it, okay? And honestly, if you're watching this video, you're probably not being moralistic and hoarding and doing all that stuff. You're probably overgiving. I find that that's the vast majority of my clients and my listeners do. You're overgiving because you have such giant and beautiful hearts. But you also have to hold your own value in that giving process. Because if you're not holding your own value, what you give won't last. Including you as part of that equation. You won't last either. The name of the game here, particularly when we look at where we are in this evolutionary cycle, we've got a long haul ahead of us. We have a long year ahead of us still. We're only halfway through and we've still got some pretty adventurous energies ahead of us. If you're not thinking slow and steady wins the race, if you're not thinking long term and creating for yourself an enduring, sustainable platform of self-renewal and restoration and healing of your own worthy karma, your worthiness karma, we're at the foothills. You're getting ready to ride up a volcano on your bike. You need to pace yourself right now, because if you're out of integrity, especially if you're out of integrity and projecting onto other people that they need to fill that place for you in your own sense of self-worth, you don't have much to give. And you can't take enduring leadership under those conditions. That means if you're going into a situation where you're serving as an ally for someone, you better make sure that your own sense of self-worth isn't checked into the story about you're serving as an ally and you want to get X, Y, and Z recognition for it. You serve as an ally because you want to serve, not because you want the recognition. It means that when you're sharing, you share in a way that sustains you as well. And you're not martyring yourself to a cause, because martyrdom by definition means you're not sustainable, right? It's flash in the pan and that's it, you're done. And then you can't continue to give the brilliance of the light of who you are to the world in an enduring, beautiful, lasting way. We are still in a cycle of listening and getting perspective on the big story. And for us to be able to share, to genuinely share in a way that increases value and lifts the people around us up from our own filled place, we have to be in integrity. There's no way around this one. You have to do the work of bringing yourself in integrity. And that means not only making sure your energy is sustainable, your health is sustainable, your identity is sustainable, that you're in a good place. It also means you've got to get eyeball to eyeball with yourself in the mirror and make sure that the language you're using, the perspectives you're holding, the ways in which you're sharing is in response to the needs of the people who need it, and in a way that allows you to detach from your need for fulfillment from the experience. The fulfillment comes from doing the right thing. The fulfillment comes from taking the next right step from a place of service. The fulfillment doesn't come from recognition, and certainly the fulfillment doesn't come from ego. Ego is the low expression of this energy. The highest potential here is recognizing that your personal story is here to be of service to the whole. That who you are is an intricate, irreplaceable part of a cosmic puzzle. And that for that puzzle to really fulfill the full beauty of all of its pieces together, you have to do your piece. And that might mean that you're not in the streets. That might mean that your job is to bring food to people, or your job is to write articles, or your job is to just simply listen to your neighbor and make sure your neighbor knows that they have an ally, that they are safe, that they have people in their lives who are here to serve them so that they can then better share who they are. Be mindful of the leadership you desire to take this week, because it's easy when this energy is at play to come in as the king or the queen with the swoosh of the cape in an attempt to prove your own value. Take care of your karma around your self-worth. Not only will it give you more to give to others, it'll help you create in a sustainable way on the planet. And the planet needs nothing more than a sustainable army of people who come from a high place of high self-worth, who see the value of not only themselves but every sentient being on this planet, and who through that recognition serve to increase the quality of well-being and value in the world for everyone. That's your job this week. Take care of yourself so you can take better care of others. Take care of yourself so you have more to share. Take care of yourself so that you can let the people who need to lead right now lead, and you take that backseat supportive role and you serve by being the person who pushes other people up because you got no skin in the game except the desire for justice and peace. That's it. Have a great week. Take good care of yourselves. There's a lot more coming, so hang in there. It's going to be an interesting summer. Do your work. You deserve it. You are precious. You are valuable. You are a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event. Take the value, that unique story that is the essence of who you are. Cultivate it, claim it, defend it, and then use it to serve the greater good. Bye.